Boker Tov. Today's daf is daf Lamed Dalet in Baba Basra for Achenu called Beis Yisrael and Asun Matzor B'Shivya. We need our tefillos more now, more than ever. So yesterday we actually covered most of Lamed Dalet and Lamed Aleph, but we're dealing with the case in Lamed Gimel Lamed Beis. So today we're going to review that case quickly, and we're going to go from Lamed Gimel to Lamed Dalet to Lamed Hey, hopefully all in about a half an hour. So what happened? We had this case yesterday where Reuben said, Shimon, what are you doing on my land? Shimon said, I bought it from you, and I've been here for 3 years. No problem. Where's your star? I lost the star, but I have an 8 over here, and he's testifying on my behalf. Well, 1 8 doesn't do it. You need 2 8, right? So he's going to lose the property, right? He said, I bought it from you, and I've been here for 3 years. Okay, so he has to give up the property. What about the payros? So we said it depends. If the other guy has proof that he ate the payros, then he has to pay for the payros too. But if he said, I bought it from you and I've been here for 3 years, and he didn't say how many payros he ate, or if we only know it based on his testimony, pesha aser pesha hitter. As far as the payros go, if there's no proof that the other that he ate the payros, he could argue, I ate my own payros. I ate my own payros. So that was what we said. Now the Gemara said, okay, so that's it. He has to give back the property. The Gemara said that the rabbi said in front of Abaye, this is similar to the case of Nasr Baba. What was the case of Nasr Baba? He had Reuben and Shimon. And Reuben says, Shimon, you just grabbed my metal bar. And Shimon says, yeah, I did, but it was mine. I grabbed mine. Now, normally if you have something, you have a wallet, a bar, anything in your hand, somebody takes away from you, you got to give it back if there's proof that you took it. But over here in this case, Reuben only had 1 8 again that Shimon grabbed it. And Shimon said, yeah, I grabbed it, but it was my own. What are you going to do? So the case came before Rav Ami. Notice that the Gemara said that the rabbis said to Abaye, this is like the case of Rav Abba. What was the case of Rav Abba? This guy with the metal bar, Shimon took the bar from Reuven. There was 1 8 to that effect. And now they brought the case before Rav Ami. Rav Ami said, what should we do? What should we do? What are the 3 possibilities here? What should we judge? What should we say? If there were 2 8 that Shimon grabbed it, if 2 8 come along and say, you grabbed my pen, you grabbed my wallet, I got to give it back. You grabbed it, you got to give it back. Okay, there's no 2 8 over, there's only 1 8. Okay, let's say, and let's say he says, okay, he admitted himself that he took it, right? Okay, but if based on his own testimony, he could say, Miga, if I wanted to say I didn't grab it, believe me when I say I grabbed my own, I didn't have to admit that I took it. I could have denied it. Okay. Over here, though, you have 1 8 who says, what does the 8 say? Yeah, you did grab it. Now, what does 1 8 do? The Torah says, one person cannot testify. We only need 2 8, right? Everybody knows that. A kid learns that in 3rd grade. You need 2 8. 1 8 cannot make you pay. However, 1 8 can make you swear if you swear to counter what he said. We saw you steal something, and I swear I didn't steal. That's what 1 8 can do, but you have to swear against the 8. Over here, though, what is he going to do? What's Shimon going to say? Again, what will happen? Shimon grabbed the thing from Reuben. There's 1 8 that he grabbed it. Shimon says, yeah, I grabbed it. It was my own. If there were 2 8 that he grabbed it, he'd have to give it back, right? If there was no 8 that he grabbed it, he could say, believe me when I say I grabbed my own, because if I wanted to, I could have said I didn't grab it at all. Okay. Now, what's the other possibility? He could have said, right? He could have said, I grabbed my own. So, okay, no, because but he admitted there's 1 8 that said that he did take it, Who's holding it right now? Shimon, right? If there was no 8 at all, Shimon could say, it's mine. I never grabbed it. I always had it, right? Most mechabel of a right. You're right, but go bring proof. So if there were 2 8, right, you would say that he grabbed it. You have to give it back. Right? There's no 2 8. There's no 2 8. There's only 1 8. So Rashbam says, if there were 2 8, you'd have to pay, right? Because we saw you grab it, right? Right? Now, if there's no 8, he could say, yeah, I grabbed my own. Now, I could say, believe me, I grabbed my own. Could have said I didn't grab any. Or let's say there's 1 8, right, who did grab it in our case, right? If he would say, I didn't grab it. Let's say they come to court. Reuben says he grabbed my bar. And Shimon says, nope, I didn't grab it. There's one aid that he did grab it. What's the halacha? The halacha is he's got to swear. One aid to make you chayiv. I didn't swear. I swear. You can swear. But here, he admitted that he took it. He admitted that he grabbed it. So he can't swear I didn't take it. One aid is machayiv you to say I don't. You say I owe you $100. I say I don't. You have one aid who says that I do owe you $100. So I have to swear I didn't know the $100. Here he admitted that he took it. So he has nothing to swear. So the Gemara said, this is what we said on the fourth line of yesterday's daf, today's daf, right? Let's look at the Gemara from the top of the page again on Lamed Daled Amud. How should the judge this case? Shalom, should Shimon have to pay like a trace out? There's no two aid that he took it. Liftrei, should he get off the hook? There's one aid that says he did grab it. So you're not going to just let him off the hook because there's one aid that said he grabbed it. He has to swear against it. Lishtava, should he swear? What is he going to swear? The aid is machayim to swear against the aid, right? You say I took it, I say I didn't take it, but I admit that I took it. He's I grabbed it. Since he says he grabbed it from Reuben, and in a case of Batalton, we assume it belongs to Reuben, he's a Goslin, and therefore he can't swear. Rav Abba, who was sitting there, said, he's mechuyev to swear that he didn't take it, but he can't swear because he said he did take it. We call him mechuyev shvua. Whoever's mechuyev to make a shvua and he can't, so he has to pay. So in that case, he has to pay too. Just like our case of the karka. What are you doing on my land? I bought it from you and I've been here for 3 years. Got proof? I got one aid. That doesn't do it. Give it back. Give it back. So here too, you'd have to pay. But in another case, if you remember in shvuas, we have cases where if a person's chashid on a shvua, if he is suspected of lying, we don't trust him. We don't trust him to tell the truth. So we say shekinegdo nishba. The other guy has to swear. If this guy is known to be a crook, right? So the other guy should swear. Okay. So why don't we say the same thing over here too? The other guy should swear. Let Reuben swear over here. So here the Ritva explains beautifully. He says like this.
Which Reuben will swear to?
Pardon?
Which Reuben will swear to?
That you stole my metal bar. You stole my metal bar. Shimon says, I took my own. Right. So he can't swear that I didn't take it because he already. When you have one witness is machayev you with shvua. Okay.
The other person, the guy.
Shimon would have to swear, but he can't swear that he didn't take it because he did.
Reuben swear. He has a witness.
Normally you would make Reuben swear if Shimon is a suspected crook. Okay, but over here, as Ron says, Reuben can't swear. Normally, if two people fighting, and really the second person number two should swear, but he's a known liar. So we say, the rabbis say, let number one swear. But over here, you don't do that. Why? Over there, number two wants to swear, but we don't accept Mel, then we don't believe him. So we say, put it on number one. Over here, this is not a question that Shimon is not, he's not really like a Goslin. He's not really a Goslin. He wants to swear. He would like to swear. But what's there to swear? The swearing is when you swear to deny what the aid says. The aid says, I saw you take it. He says, yeah, I took it. I took my own. The shvur that he would have to make min Torah is you have to swear against the aid. The aid says you took the $100, you took the metal bar. I say I didn't. I can swear, and then I'm off the hook. Over here, though, he can't swear because he can't swear that he didn't take it. He said I took it. I took my own. So he's like a Goslin. He doesn't say Havali Goslin. He's not really a Goslin. We don't know that Shimon's a Goslin. If there would be two Eidim that Shimon grabbed it, yes, then he's a Goslin. He took it from Reuben. We assume it's Reuben's. We assume it's Reuben's. Could be in really Klapi Shmaya, maybe he really took his own, but there's two Eidim, you got to give it back. So over here he says Havali Goslin. And since he can't, he's mechuyev shvua and he can't swear. He's mechuyev to swear that I didn't take it, but he said he did take it. So therefore, he can't swear. He's got to pay. Either swear or pay up. Swear you didn't take it or pay up. He has to pay up, just like our case over here. However, it's not the same as the rabbis in front of Abaye wanted to say that this is like that. This case of the metal bar is like, or that our case of the karka, when he only had one aid that he was there for 3 years, is like this case about. But it's Amalei Abaye. So Abaye said, we're 5 lines from the bottom of Lamed Dalet Amud Aleph in the Gemara. How can you compare the two cases? Over here, the Eidim are against him. Reuben says, you took my metal bar, and there's one aid who says he did take the bar. But if there would be 2 Eidim that he took the metal bar, we would take it away from him. But over here, in our case, what happened? Ruvain said, what are you doing on my land? Shimon said, I bought it from you, and I've been here for 3 years. And he brings 1 aid on his behalf, not against Shimon. Over here, when he says the 1 aid that he was there for 3 years, it's on Shimon's behalf. Over here, if you have 2 Eidim, we would give it to Shimon, right? In other words, in the case of the karka, Reuben said to Shimon, what are you doing on my land? Shimon said, I bought it from you, I've been here for 3 years. I have 1 aid. That 1 aid is on my behalf. If I would have 2 Eidim, I would get to keep it. But since I only have 1 aid, I got to give it back. In the case of the metal bar, the 1 aid is against Shimon, because the 1 aid says you took it. So it's against Shimon. So it's not the same case. Not that the halacha would be much different, says Rashbam. Halacha would be the same. Either way, you got to give it back. Right? You can't swear, you got to give it back. In the case of the metal bar, here also, you only have 1 aid that you were there 3 years, give it back. As far as the payers go, it depends if Reuben had witnesses that you ate the payers. Right? Ella idami, if you want to compare this case of the metal bar, you want a case of the metal bar to what? Compare it to this case, where a person says, what are you doing on my land? And he said, I bought it from you. Reuben came to Shimon, and you said you stole my land, and you ate the payros. And Shimon says, I bought it from you, and I don't have Eidei Chazaka. I only have what? I don't have any Eidim. I don't have 2 Eidim. The Dino, he's got to give it back, right? You got to give it back. Now, Shimon says, Reuben says, though, I have witnesses that you ate the payros for 2 years. Now, if he would have witnesses, if Reuben would say I have witnesses that you ate payros for 3 years, that would be helping Shimon, because that means he was there for 3 years. Right? Shimon says, I was there, I have a chazak, I was there 3 years, and he doesn't have witnesses. He only has, let's say, 1 aid, the chad sada. Okay. He's got to give it back. Even the let's say, because I'm reading Rashbam, let's say a chazak. Well, the payer mishtaba, as far as the payers goes, if Reuben has no Eidim that he ate the payers, he swears, I bought him for you. Peshas peshit. I could have said I never ate him. Even though he's giving back the land again. As far we separated yesterday also on yesterday's stuff, we said also, as far as the land goes, if Reuben has proof that it was his father's property, it was his property, proof, or if Shimon's motive that it was your property, Reuben doesn't even have to. What are you doing on my land? Shimon says, I bought it from you. I bought it from you. That means he's motive that it was Reuben's, right? So, and if he doesn't have Eidei Chazaka, he only has 1 aid. He's got to give it back. What about the fruits? What about the fruits? If Reuben has proof that he ate the fruits, you got to give that back too, not yours. If he doesn't have proof, he could say, who ate the pears? I didn't eat any pears. There was nothing here. It was a bad crop. I didn't eat anything. Okay, so that's what you mean over here. L'chad sada, he has maybe he has 1 witness that he was there on the car a couple of years. We'll touch for 2 years. Well, the pears, and the issue is as far as pears go. So here also, if he says, I ate the pears, right? He could also say Nachman said yesterday, you got to give the lady, you got to give the payers too. But I see Reuben. Now Reuben bought 1 aid dochel payri tatu shnanin going shemeyet. In other words, if Reuben says, "Oh, I do have 1 witness that you ate the fruits," you can't prove that you own the karka because you only have 1 aid. I have 1 witness that you ate the fruits. Now he's not bringing not 3 years, but I ate the fruits for 2 years. Okay, and Shimon says, "I ate my own fruits. I bought it from you. I'm maintaining my argument. I bought the karka." Okay, so what can he do? What can Shimon swear? That he didn't eat the fruits. He said he ate the fruits. Right? He admitted he ate the fruits. I've been here for 2 years and I ate the fruits. He admitted he ate the fruits. Okay, how much did he eat? Well, if there's no witness, he can say, believe me, I ate my own fruits, because I could have said I didn't eat any fruits. But if he's got a witness that he ate the fruits, so what does Shimon have to swear against the aid that I didn't eat the fruits? But he already said he did. Right? So therefore it's 1. That's like the case of Rav Abba, the case of the metal bar, where he says, you took my metal bar, I got 1 witness, you took the metal bar. Okay, so you got to swear that you didn't take the metal bar, but you admitted you did take the metal bar. So you can't swear you didn't take the metal bar. You can't swear you didn't eat the fruits. So in that case, you'd have to pay for the fruits. And that's like the case of Rav Abba. And the Rashbam goes on to say on Amid Beis, and that's how Rashbam understands the case. And he says, we paskin like Rav Abba. He says it at the top of the page. He brings down another shita, that in a case like this where you can't swear, why? Not because you're suspected of lying, but because you can't swear, because the Torah is machayiv, the Torah says, one person cannot testify against somebody else for whatever the sin is, murder, money, whatever it is, whatever he did wrong. We don't believe l'shalim mammon to pay for the money that you deny. And the aid says you took the money or you killed it or whatever it was, and the other guy says no, I didn't. So he can't. So he's got to sue. So the one aid cannot be mechayev him, but he's mechayev mishvur. L'mammon you can, but for avol kamu l'shvur. But one aid couldn't force the other person to make a shvua to deny what the aid said. But if the aid didn't, but if the litigant here admits to what the aid said, I admit I took the bar, but it was my own. I admit I ate the pears, but they were my own. Okay, so swear that you didn't eat the pears. Swear you didn't take the bar. Those are the cases are the same. You can't swear, and therefore he has to pay. Other shitas, Rashbam brings down. He brings down from other Lashonas. The Rach also believes like the Rashbam that we paskin like Rav Abba in this case. Since he can't swear, you have to pay. Others say if you can't swear in this case, not because you're a crook, but simply because no shvua, that chazra shvua l'sinai. In other words, the shvua goes back, nobody swears, and you'd have to say presumably kol dam mikvar until kol dam mikvar, whoever has a stronger argument will win, either stronger argument or stronger physically. Whoever's the tougher guy can keep it. We're going to talk about that more in the next case. At the top of Lamed Aleph Amud Beis, yeah.
You can't, so on technicality, you can't swear that I took what's mine.
Right. It's not that he can't swear. Right. That he can, and technicality. Also, he's mechuyev to swear. 1/8 is mechuyev to swear.
That he didn't take it, but he did take it.
Right.
He admits it.
Right.
So the other part of the argument is that it's mine.
Right.
That the other guy took what's mine, had what's mine, so I'm just taking it back. You can't swear.
You can't swear. If the other guy could swear, if you say like the Rebbe explains, if you say the case where the number 2, Rosh Shimon, is a suspect, he's suspected of lying, so we say like Reuven swear that he did steal it, and he did steal it. If Reuven that he did take it from me, and we'll believe him. But in this case, it's not that we don't believe him; it's that he can't make the shvur. The shvur that the Torah is mechayiv him to make, he can't swear. So it's a technicality because he can't swear. He has to pay, either swear or pay up. That's what we're telling him over here, and that's how the Rashbam and the Rabbeinu Chanan paskin. However, others say otherwise. Now we have this case. Ahu Arba. Case on the top of Amud Beis. Ahu Arba, Daviminsa Levei trade. There was a boat. 2 people were fighting over a boat. Reuben and Shimon. They each said it belonged to them. Each one said, this one says it belongs to me. One of them came, let's say Reuben came to court. And he told the court, Tifsua, please seize the boat before the other guy grabs it. Nobody could prove one case more. Each one claimed it was his own. So Reuben asked the court to seize it, pending further proof, right? Adamaisina Sadi, I got to give proof. My witnesses are in New York, and I please seize it before so that Shimon shouldn't grab it. We're arguing over a boat. Please have the court seize it. Okay. Adamaisina Sadi until I can bring proof that that it's mine. Tafsina lo tafsin. Does the court seize it in this case or not? Neither one has proof. What does the court do? We see what is it called when the Supreme Court in America refuses to hear a case? It's like they recuse themselves, not because of the conflict of interest, but they don't want to hear the case, right? So the question is, does the court seize it or not? Does the court seize it or not? That pending it, do they seize it or not? Or because maybe what's the other issue? What's the other side of it? Why not seize it? Nobody can bring proof. Because once they seize it, it wouldn't be proper for them then to release it. Let the boys here fight over it. It's one thing for the court to say, listen, we can't decide the case, fight it out. So maybe you'll have proof one day, but I can't decide the case. We refrain from looking into it, right? We withdraw from the case. But once they seize it and it's in their property, then maybe it would be improper for the court to release it and say, here, boys, fight over it. That wouldn't be a proper judgment. So that's the question.
So how long they can seed it? In other words, if there's the reason they've been seeded so that someone can bring proof later on.
Right.
So give them the time to say 1 month.
Yeah, but it would be improper. The question is that would be a nice idea if you say, I'll give you 1 month to prove. The guy says, I need 2 months, I need a a continuance, that you get into those issues. Maybe it's just improper for the court to seize it if they have no proof. They shouldn't take it because say, listen, until you bring proof, we're not gonna get involved. So that's the question. And as usual, it's machlokas. Tafsinan or lo tafsinan? Does the court seize it or not? Rav Huna Omer tafsinan. Rav Huna says you do seize it because Rav Huna will say that you could release it, right? That it's not so bad. Let the court seize it temporarily, like you say, for a month or two. Seize it, and if nobody brings proof, we'll release it later on, and you boys fight it out. Rav Yehuda Omer lo tafsinan says no, you don't seize it. The court should not seize it unless there's unless there's a proof of something. But if there's no proof, the court shouldn't get involved. Ozal below Ashkasadi. So this guy Reuven has said seize it, and he couldn't find, and he seized it until I bring witnesses. He couldn't find any witnesses. Now, Amalahu Afkua. So he said, okay, release it. Now, why did they seize it if they shouldn't have seized it, right? So Rashbam says it's possible that they made a mistake, or it's also possible that Reuven and Shimon both agreed. Let's say Reuven and Shimon both agreed. They said they both agreed. Court, please seize it. The court should take it. They both agreed. They both said, we both agreed. We don't want each one suspects the other one is gonna steal it. So if they both agreed to seize it, maybe then the court seized it. In either case, the court did seize it. Release it, and whoever is stronger will take it. That's whoever's stronger will take it, either with proof later on or by force. Mafkin or la mafkin. Does the court release it at that point or not? Do they review it? Maybe the court should once they seized it, they should only release it if there's proof. Release it to Reuben or Shimon. But to release it and say, boys, fight it out, maybe that's improper. Rav Yehuda says, we don't. Remember, Rav Yehuda said before, the same Rav Yehuda said, the court shouldn't seize it. And if they did, they should not, they acted improperly. They shouldn't act more improperly by releasing it. Rav Papa says, no, you do release it. Rav Huna went like Rav Papa. Rav Huna said, seize it. And if you can't resolve it, then you'll release it later on. The Hilchos of the Halacha is, the Gemara Paskins, lo tafsinan. The court shouldn't seize it. But if they seize it, they shouldn't release it. Meaning release it without proof. Obviously, if there's proof, what does releasing it mean otherwise? Releasing it means and fight it out. That's improper. So the court shouldn't seize it based on one litigant's request. They shouldn't seize it because that's improper to do. Don't seize it because maybe the guy who says seize it doesn't really own it, but he doesn't want the other guy to have it, right? He doesn't want the other guy to have it, right? So he just is a Russia. So the court shouldn't seize it. Seizing it doesn't mean that court's doing the right thing. Maybe one guy has a better proof, and maybe Shimon has a better proof, and Reuben's afraid that Shimon's going to bring proof. So Reuben says, let the court seize it. You won't get it either. Like Mishpat Shlomo, right? Nobody will get it, right? Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Let the court seize it so nobody will have it. So therefore, the court shouldn't seize it unless they both agree. The court shouldn't seize it, and if they seize it, they shouldn't release it. Okay, they shouldn't release it. Right? Well, no, nobody's a muhsik here. It's not nobody's a muhsik. No, the boat's in the harbor, and nobody's a muhsik. And if one would be a muhsik, that would be different. Here nobody's a muhsik, right? Right. Rashbam says, if you took a look at Rashbam, you see whether Rashbam almost exactly halfway down the page, even when it goes sabach. See the two that's arbas, the finish with on. I am the below zeh muhsakamba. Otherwise, it's a good thing you mentioned this. Rashbam says, why don't you just cash from Shnai Mochs and Batalis? Remember? Beginning of Amasif, Shnai Mochs and Batalis, right? What do you split it? So say, why don't you say over your split it? Nobody's muchsing. So then don't say it because nobody's grabbing onto it. Okay. Next case, Zeh Omer Shalavosai. Zeh Omer Shalavosai. Each one says it belonged to my father. Now, what are we speaking about? What belonged to my father? So Rashbam says it could be anything. Rashbam says it could be anything. Meaning, let me just point out another Rashbam before we get to this case. I'm sorry. When he said that when the court did seize it, assuming either they made a mistake or that two people that both agreed, Reuben and Shimon, both agreed to seize it. Remember, one person saying to seize it, why should the court seize it? Maybe it really belongs to the other guy, and this guy doesn't want the real owner to get it. So then he says they seized it, and they said, okay, release it. So release it, but called on bar. And Rashbam says over here about 10 lines from the bottom of the page in Rashi, in Rashbam. V'chol dom gvar bein b'rayis bein b'koach. Either with proof, let us release it, and then let's see what happens. Maybe somebody brings a proof, or by strength, whoever is stronger. Kamosha pasuk of Nachman Lefaneinu kol dom gvar. Rav Nachman's going to pass in the next case. So kol dom gvar means whoever's stronger. We'll see. Either sees it with proof that's stronger, or not. Now, so and the halacha is lo tafsinan, right? The tafsinan lo mafkin. We don't release it. Now the next case. Ze omer shalavosai. 3 lines from the bottom in the Gemara of Lamed Aleph and Beis. Ze omer shalavosai. V'zer shalavosai. It's easy to count the lines here because it's a small page. Ze omer shalavosai shalavosai. Each one says this is valid. Now, what are we speaking about? It could be anything. It could be a boat. It could be karka. Period. Nobody has proof more than the other. Nobody has one proof more than the other. Each one says it's my father's. And like Avram asked yesterday, when you say shalavosai, it's like the Rashbam said. Rashbam said in yesterday's daf that he said yomoso. In other words, that it was my father's. My father once owned the business, 40 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever. That doesn't mean anything. So Rashbam says he didn't say it back on Lamed Aleph, but he said it on yesterday's daf. Ad yomosam. In other words, my father owned this until the day that he died. So you can't say you bought it from him because he owned it till he died. So neither one has more proof than the other one. What do you do? Whoever is stronger takes it. Again, stronger could be in testimony, in proof, or it could just mean if you have nothing else to say, whoever's stronger will take it. Now, that's what the psak is, and that's what the Bezin paskins. The Rosh says over here, listen to what the Rosh says. I called on Mikvar Dinahu. It's not simply Bezin saying we withdraw, don't ask us. They're saying called on Mikvar is a psak. Okay, whoever's stronger, take it. Dinu. The call me Shagavar Yado Bapam Rishon who Shalo Ashiyavin Chavred Raya. When Bezin says called on Mikvar, whoever's stronger, he takes it. Now it's his. It's his until Shimon brings proof. Shimon then can't go and fight it out. In other words, it's not Mistavra. If it calls man Shaloya be right, if Shimon doesn't, let's say Reuben's the stronger one, he grabs it. Now we don't say Shimon could just keep grabbing it back from him tomorrow. Shimon will hire his own posse of ruffians to break into Reuben's house and steal. We don't say that. Calls man Shaloya, Shimon's got to bring. Calls man Shaloya B'ra. Afim Tigra Yado. Even if Shimon gets stronger, right now Reuben has his mafia group who took it. Now Shimon brings another mafia group. He hires some Italians to go steal it from Reuben, called on Gvar. You don't say that. No. Once Bezin Pasan is called on Gvar, whoever's stronger now takes it, and that's the psak, and it stays with him until Shimon can bring proof otherwise. We don't allow Shimon to go grab it. In other words, if Reuben had the upper hand, was stronger, and took it, let's say there was no proof. Shimon, the Bezin says called on Gvar. We don't know what to do. Whoever's stronger, keep it. But we're not. It's a psak. It's not simply we don't hear the case. We don't want to hear the case. Then, right? In the case of the boat, the question is, can Bezdin seize something? So he said, better not to seize it. Better not to seize it, and don't release it. But if there was nothing to seize, let's say it was karka, or they couldn't seize it, and they don't seize it, so the psak is called a bar. But Rashi explains called a bar means whoever grabbed it first, it's his. And Shimon has to bring proof. We don't allow Shimon the next day to go grab it from him by force. The lo mistaver, the shetiknu chacham, the chacham says shakma chacham, she'll call you man from What are you going to say? Their whole life they should fight it out. Whoever's stronger takes it. So Reuben's going to be stronger today. Tomorrow Shimon's going to come with guns. The next day Reuben will come with a bigger army, and they'll go back and forth. And Hayomi gavarzeh u'mocha chavero el chacham pasku called the olim b'pam hazos. Whoever's stronger on agavar. The some calls there, the call Misha Dini Mo, Karlavi Rayas. Now, as I said, whoever's stronger, and obviously the person who it really belongs to will probably bring better proof, or he'll defend his property better. The guy who really owns it will make a stronger effort to keep it. And also another reason is I'm going to go kill myself for my own property, and tomorrow he'll bring a bigger mafia and steal it from me. So that's a psak. Called on gar is a psak. So the Gemara says, okay, why do you say whoever's stronger? Why don't you split it? How is it different than two shows? There are a case where this happened in Israel, right? Where Yankel sold the field to Reuven on January 1st, and he sold the field to Shimon on January 1st, or he gave it to him. Let's say, he gave it to two people, and they both have a star that Yankel gave them on January 1st. So what do you say in a case like that? Now the Rav, now we're on Lamed Hey. Rav says you split it. No way to resolve it, you split it. Shmuel says shoot at the dime. Shoot at the dime means it's the judge's discretion. Who did Yankel? Yeah, they both have a star that Yankel gave them. We know who the people are. Yankel gave them the field. So it's the judge's discretion. Who would Yaakov probably want to give it more to? Who is he closer to? It's the judge's discretion. Give it to him. So Shmuel says, give it to the one that the judge decides. It probably belongs. It's a judge's. It's his choice who to give it to. Rav says he split it, but you don't say kol dolam gavar. Why don't you say kol dolam gavar? It's more hasim like a make milsa. There's no way to resolve this. You have two stars. Right? Let's say Yankel's not here or whatever. They both have equal proof. They both have a star that's written on the same day. Rashi points out in the Yerushalayim, they time what we call today a time stamp, not a date stamp, but a time stamp. They had a time on it. So in Yerushalayim, they did that. So you can say if he gave it one in the morning, one in the afternoon, the one that he gave it to in the morning is a stronger one. But if there's no time stamp, like in the outside of Yerushalayim, you assume even if they were given at two different times in the day, he just meant to do it in that day. So therefore, there's no way to resolve it. So you either split it or leave it up to the judge's discretion. You can make them a milsa. But over here, each one says it belongs to his father. Maybe one of them will bring a proof. Where maybe one day one will bring a proof. So nobody has a proof right now. So you say, okay, give it to the one who's stronger, meaning he'll probably the one who it really belongs to will probably defend it better, and therefore we leave it with him.
Why do they stay up to politics?
Pardon? Why what?
Stay up to politics. Well,
Yeah, they're both home. Here, right, yeah, but here, right, but over here we said, right, that's what Michael asked before. Over here, there's no muhsik in it. Nobody's holding on to it. It's a star. It's either a boat or it's a piece of land or whatever. Nobody's more muhsik than the other one, right? Neither one has more proof than the other one. There's no either they both have proof that they were there 3 years. They both have proof to that effect, or right, maybe there's one of us maybe a set of liars, but. One maybe still lies, but there's no proof more one than the other. So we say call dom government. Why don't you say split it, or why don't you say leave it up to the judge's discretion? The answer is in the case of the two people each holding on to a star, saying that it was theirs. There's no way to resolve it. They both have the same proof. There's no further testimony that can change anything because they both have the same star effectively. So you say either split it or you have to the judge. But over here, it might be resolved. It might be better Adis later on. Maybe if they both have proof that it was their father's and that he had it till his dying day, maybe Adam Zoman will come later on and refute one set of Adam. It might be resolved. So we say called on Gavar. Yeah.
But Rob says to split it. So Rob must.
No. Rob says to split it in the case of the star because there's no way to further resolve it. So he split it, right? But over here, there's a way that it might be resolved without splitting it. In other words, we know that it probably belongs to one, not the other, right? So we say over here, listen, let Kol Dolam Gavar because it might be resolved later on. In the case of the star, there's no way to resolve it because they both have the exact same star. So there's no way to resolve it. So you split it. If you can't resolve it, there's no way to further resolve it. There's no chance of further testimony coming forth. So all they have is the star. They each have the same star. Either split it or leave it up to the judge. But when it may be resolved by further testimony, then we say Kol Dolam Gavar. Gemara is another proof, another similar case. Maishna, how is it different? The famous case of Baba Kama Daf Kuf, we had it many places. Hamachlik para b'chamor. You exchange. You did a chalipin. You exchange a para for a chamor. The para was pregnant, right? And this guy made a mashicha on the chamor. And let's say Reuben is giving the para to Shimon, and Shimon is getting the chamor. So Shimon makes a kinyan. And Shimon is giving the chamor to Reuben. So Reuben makes a kinyan on the chamor, and the para goes to Shimon. But now the para had a baby. We don't know if it was the baby before or not. The owner of the para says that they gave birth before it was exchanged, and the guy who bought it says no, the baby had baby afterwards, or similar. A man sold his shifcha. He sold his shifcha. He had a shifcha maidservant who was pregnant, and he sold her. Shifcha is like shifcha knanis is like karka. You could acquire it with kesef shtar chazaka. Here's $100 for the slave. Okay, $100, and now she gave birth. The seller says, gave birth before I sold it, either before I sold you the para or before I sold you the shifcha. And the person who bought it says, no, it gave birth after I bought it, so the baby belongs to me. So over there we say achloku, at least according to Sumchus we say achloku, because it's speaking about neither one was a muchzik in it, it was an agam, where Marsh was over there. There you say achloku. Again, hasamai is like Ramona. There each ulahu is like Ramona. There in both cases, in those cases, each one has a financial interest in it because each one got the shifcha or the para either as a seller or as a buyer. So each one has more of a claim. So there we say we split it. But over here in this case, where two people are fighting over a boat or over a piece of land, it either belonged to one or to the other. So Yachloku wouldn't solve it. In the case of the star, where they each had a star that this guy Yankel gave it to them on the same day, they get the exact same proof. That's all the proof there is. That's all you could do. Yankel is dead. You can't ask him. So there's nothing else you could do. You split it or leave it up to the judge's discretion. But over here, in our case, it might get further resolved. And over here, in our case, we know it belonged to one or to the other. That it either was this guy's or that guy's. It's either his character or his boat or his character or the other guy's. But over here, they both had a financial interest because either as a seller or buyer, they had a more of a claim. They each have something of a claim. They each have an interest here because either I own the para or the slave as a seller or as a buyer. But over here, it's either one or the other, and therefore we say called Dom Bar, and we don't say Achloku. All right, we'll continue with this case tomorrow. Amr Naidoy and Boecha will continue explaining this case tomorrow. 3 blot in one day.